Horizon Realms is finally here, coinciding with the release of Forza Horizon 5 on the PlayStation 5 for the first time, and containing 4 new cars, as well as the latest Nissan Retro Rides paid car pack. Today let's focus on the 2 new Raging Bulls that have been added, the Lamborghini Revuelto and the Lamborghini Huracan Sterrato, both available to unlock by completing some new Realms-themed accolades. There are actually 45 new accolades in total, 4 of which are to unlock the new vehicles. These can be found by opening up the pause menu, selecting accolades, where 3 of them will be under the new Horizon Realms section, where, as you can see, to unlock the Hennessy Mammoth, you must complete skill mode in 1 of the 12 realms. To unlock the Lotus Siege Cup 430, you must complete skill mode in 6 of them. And to unlock the Lamborghini Huracan Sterrato, you must complete skill mode in all realms. To unlock the Revuelto, though, you need to go into the separate Road Racing tab under Accolades, where you can see you simply need to win a race at the new Horizon Stadium circuit. So then, after winning a race around the new Horizon Stadium circuit, I now have access to 1001 horsepower of Lamborghini Revuelto, 814 of them coming from the naturally aspirated V12 and the rest from 3 electric motors. As you might expect then, this already feels very, very fast, even before applying any kind of upgrades, which, to be honest, there probably aren't that many of, given it's already a very fast supercar. So then, back at the festival, before we see if there are actually many upgrades for this thing or not, I'm going to start with manufacturer colours, as I usually do. There's of course the orange that it's available in, which for some reason Forza seems to say is a two-tone colour with a slightly darker orange, which I don't really see. There's also a white, a blue, which looks stunning, purple, which I think I've used on Lamborghinis before, so we've got a very similar range of manufacturer colours as to on other Lamborghinis, black, yellow, red, and a sort of silver. So, although purple's probably the most on brand, and it does look incredible, I think for a change, and because it looks quite so incredible on this, I'm going to go for the blue. So yes, as I expected, and as I should have known, because this will have very similar upgrades in Forza Motorsport, where it's been for a little while, there's not a lot of options. There is 1 engine swap, and it's the dreadful sounding Racing V12. There is a rear-wheel drive conversion if you want to make it less Lamborghini-ish, and there's a twin turbo if you want to ruin the naturally aspiratedness of it, although that does put your power up to 1220 horsepower, if you want a very, 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 very fast Lamborghini, rather than just a very, very fast one. Aero and appearance is worse than usual. There's only rear aero, and it's just about the most disgusting Forza aero I've ever seen, so please don't do that. There's all of the normal tyre compounds, tyre widths and track widths, which I might do because it just fills the arches a little bit better than it would be from standard. Then it's all as you'd kind of expect in here. There's a clutch, a transmission, a driveline, and a diff. Then we have some suspension upgrades. You can put it on race, which lowers it slightly, so I might do that. And I might do anti-roll bars just to improve things a little bit. But yeah, there's not loads we can do to this. It is already on race brakes, though, by the look of it. You can, of course, put a roll cage in, but that looks horrible. And weight reduction will take you down to 1,510 kilos, so it's still 1.5 tons. It is a pretty heavy car, this, but then Lamborghinis always are with all-wheel drive. Then there are a few engine upgrades, so if I quickly throw all of these on to the standard engine, you'll be able to see that power is up to 1,097 horsepower, so you can get 96 just from putting these upgrades on. Although I'm probably going to revert those parts back to standard and just leave it with the track widths and lowered suspension. With its new paint job and slight upgrades, I did take it for a quick last drive before we move on to the Huracan Sterrato, which is the one I'm most excited for out of these 2. I do like the Revuelto, but to be honest, I just think it's a bit similar to all the other V12 Lamborghinis we've got, and we've got so many special editions and things like the cyan and those kind of things are quite similar to this, to be honest. So as cool as it is as a car, I'm just not quite as excited for it, because I've driven such similar things already as I am for the Sterrato. With that said then, let's go and look at the other Lamborghini. And a long time later, after completing a skill mode session in all 12 of the realms, I now have access to the other Lamborghini, the Huracan Sterrato. Although I was never actually a fan of the Lamborghini Huracan really, I do still really like the Sterrato. Who wouldn't want a mid-engine V10 supercar that you can take off onto the dirt? This 601 horsepower all-wheel drive monster is not a bad final model of the Huracan before the baby Lamborghini is reduced to a V8 in the all-new pterodactyl thingy. On the inside though, the Sterrato is disappointingly exactly the same as a standard Huracan, which I did already know and I don't really know what else you would expect, but driving it from interior view on the Rally expansion here in Horizon 5, it feels just like you're in a normal Huracan, really. From the exterior view, however, it is most certainly recognisable as a Sterrato. As with the Revuelto, let's take a look at the manufacturer paint options before we head to the upgrade shop. There's this sort of rusty brown orange, there's a brighter red, there's a matte yellow, which is kind of interesting. Again, there's the rather nice purple and the rather nice blue, but I kind of feel like I've done those now. There's the silver, the black, the white, and the matte kind of bronzy green, which unusually for me, I think I am going to go for. It kind of suits the off-roady nature of this car and matches well with the red interior and accents, I think at least. And yeah, it's something a bit different to any Lamborghinis I've got in this game already. As with the Revuelto, there aren't loads of upgrades for this, but there are a few more than there were on that car. For example, there are 2 engine swaps. They are both V12 engines though. One brings power up to 700 and the other up to 750, but I don't know why you'd want to put a V12 in this car, I suppose. Why not, you might argue? There is a rear-wheel drive conversion again if you want to make it less Lamborghini-ish, and twin turbos, which I think is probably more commonly done to Huracans than it is to the big V12 Lamborghinis, so if you want 734 horsepower, that's quite an easy way to add power. Then if we come to aero and appearance, interestingly there is the Lamborghini option to remove the spotlights, but I think they look kind of incredible. It would maybe have made more sense for them to not be on the car from standard and then you could fit them, but you can remove those and then you can have Forza Aero with or without them, to quote you too. Then there's a spoiler on this one, which possibly looks even worse than the Revuelto, which I just declared was one of the worst ones in Forza, because for some reason it removes the integrated one, which looks quite hideous. Now, the keen-eyed among you may have noticed that this is on the full off-road tyres, which I suppose kind of works with the off-road look of this car, but I don't think it should have quite such chunky tyres. I'm pretty sure the real one doesn't. So what I might do is move it to the normal off-road tyres rather than the off-road race, because that's probably more in line with what it should have. You can, of course, also increase the width of your tyres, so I might do that to get some of the grip back. Then we have spacers again, which help fill out the arches. Although I noticed on this that if you do the rears, they stick out quite substantially. It was even more noticeable with the big chunky tyres on. But yeah, I think that looks slightly better. Then we have the clutch, transmission, driveline, and diff, as we saw with the Revuelto. Springs and dampers, you can lower it, putting it on race springs, raise it, putting it on off-road, but it's kind of in a nice medium at the moment. Or you can even put drift suspension on it, which makes it look like that. There's again anti-roll bars, so I might fit those like I did with the Revuelto. If you go for weight reduction, you can get it down to 1,338 kilos, and then there are quite a number of engine upgrades, a lot more than there were on the Revuelto. With all of them fitted, the standard engine can make 765 horsepower. You could, of course, then go and twin turbo it if you wanted to. So the total power output, if we did that, would be 889 horsepower. And then you could probably come back here and upgrade the turbo. No, it's already a race one, never mind. That is kind of unusual. You can, though, put on a race intercooler, which then means power is now at 948 horsepower. So, twin-turboed standard engine, you can get pretty close to 1,000. So after that quick lick of paint and some minor upgrades, I did take the Sterrato back out onto the Rally expansion, driving it from exterior view because it just looks incredible. I don't know what it is, there's just something really cool about a supercar that's designed to do that. I know it's probably not designed to go that off-road in reality, and people are going to be quite careful with them, but knowing that it's a bit tougher and you can take it sort of off the road, it's just cool, and I think in the matte green this looks particularly good. It's not a colour I'd usually choose, but I think it works for this kind of rugged off-road car. Anyway, I'm going to keep driving this round for a bit because I'm rather enjoying it, actually. That, though, is going to bring an end to today's video, taking a very first look at the two brand new Lamborghinis that you can unlock through the New Horizon Realms update. I will be back to take a look at the other two brand new cars that you can unlock soon, as well as the car pack containing those 4 new Nissans. For now, though, do let me know your thoughts on these two new cars and Horizon Realms, or how you're enjoying the game if you're new to Forza playing on the PlayStation 5. For now, though, that is going to be all, so thank you very much for watching, and I will be back with the next one very soon.